There was a newspaper ad in the Honolulu Advertiser, and it said South Pacific Island, 6 people they were looking for 6 people for a job. And I signed up, flew to Honolulu, got in line with about 250 people. 6 people were selection, and it was actually for a hotel. It was for Hotel Bora. And what happens, I met a client that had been staying there, the longest staying client at Hotel Bora since 1961, actually came back every year for a month. And we befriended. He said, I want to have a business here someday. So as the years went by, Bloody Mary's came up for sale in '85. Called him on the phone. He was here the next weekend, believe it or not. Says, okay, let's buy it. So, about 10 tables in those days. So he put the money up and I ran it, and we started. But then, we got the restaurant going in '85 until to this day. It's been, 38 years now that I've been here. And from the 8 tables, we took the restaurant down flat and reconstructed it to seat about 100 people, where we were averaging, in the good season, we're about 100 strong right now. But the idea of the sand, the coconut tables and everything actually came from Dino De Laurentiis when he was doing his movie down here. But he said, he came into Hotel Bora one day and he said, hey guys, I want to rent the hotel for a year. I'm going to do a movie here. Because he was an old client of ours. We're going, yeah, right, they're going to wreck the hotel. And he said, no, Dino, man, we can't do this for you. And he was, speaking Italian and, talking to me and the manager at that time. He goes, I'm going to build my hotel. So he said, okay, fine, build your hotel. And he did. It's to do his movie. So that was really kick, when he did that, build a hotel. And of course, all the prices of labor went up like, 2 times because a film industry arrived in Bora Bora. It was one time when he was visiting the hotel, it was World Cup, and Italy was in it. Finals, okay, takes you back. It would have been between 75 and 80. And he demanded Monty, who was the manager at that time, to give all the maintenance and gardeners off that day so they can sit in his room. He flew a TV in from Papeete, so he had live soccer in the front of his room in the garden with a TV set up, and he paid the salary of everybody for the day so they could sit and watch soccer with him. He didn't want to watch by himself. Yeah, most of the celebrities were staying at Hotel Bora Bora in those days, so they found they could come to Hotel Bora Bora, walk down to Bloody Mary's, not be bothered, and have a great dinner and a good time, and go back home. And so it turned out, we don't put their name on the board unless they ask. That's always been policy. There's people that have been here but didn't ask, and so their name's not there, and some really big stars. So, they ask, it's usually if the guy's the star, the wife's going, hey, can my husband get on the board? Things like that. Meg Ryan was always a good client and came down quite often. And for music, you got Jimmy Buffett, who's played in the restaurant actually 4 or 5 times and did a really nice benefit concert to help. It was the same year they had a hurricane in that area in the Caribbean. And he wanted to help a lot of his fellow band members' families. So we did a beneficial one night and then another one for all the people in all the hotels, and it was a sellout. It was big, a lot of donations actually. So that was a lot of fun, but that's not the first time he's done things like that. Hey, Buffett's really, he's a key, he really is. He's a great guy. And what he did is there's a lot of local people that know him down here, and he had such a good time. There was clients in here that put over $30,000 on the table that night to help all the people that had problems. The owner of the restaurant just turned 80 on Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, his name is Dexter Hewitt from Arizona, actually. But the most wonderful person you'd ever want to work for. This guy's been the bone amongst the Tahitians saying, never on Sunday will you work, and you will always have Christmas and New Year's with your family. Now, how many people would do that? But the takeoff of Bloody Marys, the name, it was really from the movie South Pacific, James Michener. That's really where it originates from. And he was an old client of Hotel Bora. And if you look at Tales of the South Pacific, the book, you'll see what I'm saying. It's right in there. And Bloody Mary's restaurant and bar was because the Americans were here in the 40s, okay, during the war. And so what happened is that all the CBs were here. They built the airport, the road, the water system, and this is a refueling and watering thing for all the ships. And so there was a small bar out here in front. We don't know exactly where it was, but it was right here in front. And it was called Bloody Mary's. That's key. And what it is, and the proof of it is that heavy surf, cyclone type of surf, you'll still find little Coke bottles, the green ones, and Pabst Blue Ribbon beer bottles. I mean, this is from, this was a long time ago. And so they're right there because they were doing, this was like
the spot.
The spot, yeah, because there was more sand out in front before our time. I mean, there was more of a beach era in those days than there is now. And so everything's floating up they probably buried a lot of the stuff. And then over time, they come up out of the water. So that's kind of what happened. But James Michener had a lot to do with it in his book. The key now that most of the people that do tours, if you don't include Bloody Marys, the client won't buy it. Everybody wants to come. They want to see where the stars have been, and they want to see the sand floor and the fresh fish, and and the signature Bloody Mary, absolutely.